I don't think he wants to be with Kat. I think that he sees Roxanne as somebody that he actually wants to be with.
Red flags.
Okay.
Red flags. I just feel there's always lies that I catch him in, like white lies.
I've really been wondering why Alex and Roxanne are with Kat and Antonio. And the only conclusion I could come to after watching this episode is the fact that they like people that are less than them. They like to be in this sort of superior role, as in they are the, the one that's looked up to, the one that's adored, the one, that everybody's singing praises about, because the way they speak to each other's partners is very patronizing and very belittling. It's really sad. It's really sad to see. And the fact that Kat and Antonio cannot answer back or cannot stand up for themselves is also heartbreaking. But anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing The Ultimatum, Season 2, Episode 5. So the episode starts with Alex and Roxanne meeting her parents. So in the previous episode, they met Alex's parents and seemed to go okay. I think with Roxanne's parents, they were a bit more intense in the sense that when Roxanne met Alex's parents, she was trying to be the perfect girlfriend. She was trying to be, the very vocal and very supportive of whatever was going on with Alex. Whereas Alex was sort of flustering and sort of fumbling along the way, in the sense that he was asked, would you ever marry yourself? And he said yes, because I provide for others, and that was it. And it's like, what else do you like about yourself that makes you think you're the ideal husband? You would say, I'm well educated, I'm a good provider, I'm very supportive of my partner, I am very loving towards my partner. He should have listed a lot more stuff, but Roxanne's dad was quick to say, at least you've done better than some of her previous partners. And it's like, what do you mean he's done better? He really didn't say much. Or did they edit out the good stuff that he said then? I don't get that. And Roxanne's dad was sort of trying to talk to him about etiquette and opening the doors and being this and that. And it's like, oh, I understand what you mean, but I don't think this is the stuff you should be asking him on this date. I think you should ask your daughter in private that, does it do this, does it do that? If he doesn't, then have a conversation with him. But I don't think these are the major stuff you should be discussing. Although he did ask his daughter that, what do you do to support Alex? And so it seems Roxanne's dad was sold on Alex. It seems you're sold because you're saying, oh, I think you're the right person, for the long haul, yeah, this, that, and that. And it's like, this is just a trial. This is not, permanent. You can't start making such assumptions, because you could tell Roxanne and her mom and even Alex were trying to pull him away from that, to say, no, this is not permanent, this is not permanent. But he was so fixated and so impressed by Alex that I think for him, this was it. He was sold. Anyway, then we have Ryan and TREY meet up with TREY's brother and his girlfriend. And I'm actually surprised that they met up with his brother and his girlfriend. I thought they were going to meet her parents, but maybe her parents didn't want to be on TV. The brother was very impressed. Even his girlfriend was impressed that Ryan is a better version of herself. It seems she's more outspoken, she's more bubbly. It seems she's not cowering in the shadows of James, because apparently it seemed like most of the time she's always been the one to sort of put James first, and her life has always revolved around James. And so seeing her with TREY was a revelation for them, because they even asked her, do you see yourself moving on with TREY and leaving James, or do you see yourself leaving James? And if there was a couple that I feel should sort of create or branch off on their own, I think of all the 4 couples that are left, I think it's Ryan and TREY. I think they're more compatible. I think they're more understanding. They're more compassionate. They're more empathetic. They're able to prioritize each other's needs. And so I think they'll be a better couple than the couples that they're in at the moment. But then, I don't know, maybe it's just based on what we're seeing, but they both seem highly impressed with one another. So that's good. So the guys meet up and the girls meet up. And I don't know whose idea this was, because this is very awkward and it's very sort of challenging. I know it's meant to spark conversation, and I know it's meant to sort of be a checkup more or less to see how your partner is doing. But it's very awkward in the sense that these people are living with somebody else's partner. And so the idea of you sitting there and hearing what's going on with your partner and you not being able to stop it is a nightmare for me. It is a nightmare because with James and Trey, it seemed more constructive. It seemed more constructive in the sense that because obviously Trey brought up that they met up with Ryan's brother and his girlfriend, and that they were both very impressed because they think Ryan has really changed for the better. She's a more confident person. She's able to speak up and advocate for herself, and she doesn't rely on James heavily for everything. And you could see that James felt some type of way because then he brought up the conversation he had with Ryan about holding hands and cuddling, and he felt that she really wanted to do that. And so Trey did immediately say, yes, I spoke to Rye, and she told me that you thought that in asking for those things, she was trying to get you to sleep with her when that wasn't the case. And so it was very awkward. It was very awkward because that conversation suddenly stopped. And then the next time we saw them, they were sitting together. Um, and so James was speaking to Trey, and you were saying to Trey, you more or less hinted that you might want to look for another girlfriend because this Rai, I don't think is it for you. I don't think she's ready to get married to you now. I see a lot of red flags in her, so I think you need to do something. Otherwise, you're going to get your heart broken. And Trey was quick to recognize that, yes, he has noticed, that living with Ryan is totally different to him living with Ryan in the sense that he and Ryan share a lot of things in common, which makes it easier and is having him question himself whether he really wants to be with Ryan or whether he would rather prefer someone who has more in common with him, which to me makes sense. I don't think Rai is ready for marriage. I think Rai still needs to do a lot of work, and I don't think she really loves Trey like that. I think he's convenient for her for the time being, but long term, I don't see her doing that. And sadly, I have to agree with Lisa that she came with someone that she really didn't love. Maybe she just came to be on TV. That's the impression that I'm getting. And James, on his part, recognized that because he was asked by Trey that you've been with Ryan for 7 years, why have you not proposed? And he went, well, I come with a lot of baggage, and I really haven't been open with Ryan about that because I'm worried. I think he's worried that Ryan will leave him if she finds out what he's been holding back, and I really want to know what's holding him back. Has he been a victim of abuse? What is it? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. So I hope is open to speaking with Ryan once they get back together and is open to working on whatever issues they have, because the feedback that they gave each other with Trey was very constructive in my opinion. It might have bruised somebody's ego, but it seemed more productive. And the girls, Ryan and Rice, sort of had a conversation with Ryan, sort of saying, she was asked that, do you see yourself, if it were possible, do you see yourself with James? And she went, no. I think because she's realized that she is broken, but James is even more broken than she is, which says a lot for her to recognize that. And for Ryan, she was sort of just talking about the fact that she's learning, she's grown from this process, she's becoming a better person. And she was asked, do you see yourself with Trey? And she went, well, my fear is that he loves you. And I think she doesn't want to be the other woman in his life. I think if he didn't love Rai, she would go for Trey because I think she's realized that Trey is more her speed, more her lane. And so I don't know how that will play out. I don't know how that will play out between those four. And then you have Alex and Roxanne. Now I wonder, I've I've been wondering why Alex and Roxanne are with Antonio and Kat. Now it makes sense. I think they like people that they belittle. I think they like people that they can patronize. I think they like being the bigger or better than person. And I think they like someone sort of idolizing them. That's the impression that I get because their feedback was very, very, very derogatory, in my opinion, because of the way they made it seem, with Alex sort of he was sort of mumbling and stuttering and mumbling and stuttering until he was finally asked and he went, oh, well, I think that Roxanne prefers someone who's got his crack together, someone who's confident, someone who's able to do A, B, C, D. And Antonio on his part was able to recognize that it seems like Alex has developed feelings for Roxanne and thinks that Roxanne would be a better partner for him than Kat. And So he's trying to say and do things that will put Antonio off and make Antonio step away from his relationship with Roxanne, and that will make it easier for him. And I sort of got that impression because even the way Roxanne spoke to Kat, it sort of gave that impression because she said, "Oh, I work with a lot of women, and I hate the way you're treated by Alex, and I've caught Alex in a lot of white lies," and it's just like she doesn't need that. Give her information that is helpful. Don't give her information that will make her feel less than, information that is meant to belittle her and make her unworthy. That's not fair. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be helping each other sort of make decisions that will affect the rest of your life. And the information you're giving is not information that's meant to sort of develop her. It's information that's meant to break her. I didn't like that. And the fact that she was asking, "Oh, does Alex wait up for you when you come back from work? Does he?" It's like, please. That's okay, fine. Yeah, it does make sense that if she's doing a night, if she's finishing work late, at least he should wait up for her and make sure she gets home safe. Or if she's done a night shift, you should just check on her to make sure that she gets home safe because she'll be very exhausted. It does make sense, but the way you're putting it out is what is hurtful, in my opinion. And Kat, on her part, I think after all that was broken, and she just was trying to advocate for Antonio and say how good of a person he is. The fact that he, when Roxanne is driving, he sets an alarm. That way, he checks on her. He's really recognizing that he has a lot of work to do and he's got weak spots that he needs to work on, and that at times he feels less than. He doesn't feel like he sort of measures up to Roxanne's idea of a husband, which to me made sense. But then I'm just like, these people need an expert on board. They need a mental health professional to be on site to sort of help them navigate this thing because it's very challenging and it's a train wreck. And I think this is what the producers like the most about this show. But anyway, I digress. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye, everyone.